Bronx hat. I found me a Bronx hat. So praise be to the Alpha Omega, the Creator, and everything in existence for finding me a Bronx hat. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So this is part two. It's going to be a part three. So it's a big shout out to Fordham Road. I had to go all the way, like I had to go all the way down to Fordham Road. If you know the Bronx, I had to go all the way down Fordham Road, right next to Webster, Fordham and Webster. And when you're about to make that right turn onto Webster, there's a store right there where that they had the hat. They had all flavors. They had green, they had blue, they got red, they got camouflage. So I just bought me, a solid black one, and yeah, like when you going up towards like Fordham Road in the Grand Concourse, like if you're coming up towards that way, it's really difficult and hard to find a Bronx hat. Where that you going towards the D train and you going towards the 4 train. Up there, I found it very difficult to find a Bronx hat. But the guy that's out there selling the merchants, guys that's out there that's selling, trying to make a quick buck, entrepreneurs. But Fordham Road got to do a little better. It cannot be 1 or 2 stores that have Bronx hat. And everywhere else have a Bronx hat, but Fordham Road, it shouldn't just be like one store. It should be like several stores under a case that should have a Bronx hat because it is the Bronx. I'm thinking that every location in the Bronx should have a Bronx hat. Not saying that it should be official, but they should be official, I know for sure, Brooklyn, BK, any store that you go at, the merchants over there, they got BK all day Brooklyn, especially downtown Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is my second home. Brooklyn is my second home. So, shout out to Brooklyn. But the Bronx, we need to do a little more better in having these logos push. And if you want to pull up, they should have like a store where they have some hats, some hoodies, some shirts. I know for sure they got one on the 6th line over by Elder Avenue by the 6th line. On that line, yeah, they got the Bronx hats. And like the guy said in part 1, he said, yo, if you go to Harlem, you definitely gonna find a Bronx hat. Shout out to Harlem. I love Harlem, but the fact is that the Bronx should have some hats where that they are selling the merchant. Yeah, you go up there, they selling all New York hat, New York. Where's the Bronx at? So that's just for all those that's coming from out of town that goes to the Bronx, especially up there on Fordham Road, over there by the 4 train, D train. I hope and pray that them guys they do a little better with the hats logo for the Bronx, because I had to walk all the way down there by if you know Fordham Road, I had to walk all the way down there by Elm Place. That's where I was at. I was between Elm Place and Webster on Fordham Road. Yeah, where the 12 buses go down. So if you know the Bronx, you know the Bronx. And that's the only place where they had a Bronx hat. You figured that once you get off the 4 train, you're supposed to have spots set up where that they're supposed to have hats for the Bronx, because you never know who's visiting in the Bronx. You got outtowners, that's visiting the Bronx, there's a lot of historical statues that's in the Bronx, especially up there by King Bridge. Yeah. So you got a lot of historical monuments in the Bronx. A lot of them. And I'm gonna do part 3 and I'm gonna do part 4. I'm gonna do part 3 and I'm gonna do part 4. The Bronx is the Bronx is beautiful. The Bronx is beautiful. I don't care what anybody say about the Bronx, like the Bronx is trash and the Bronx got a lot of crash outs and people are on drugs because they always focus on 3rd Avenue, 149th. Let me tell you something. The Bronx got a little bit of everything, not just Yankee Stadium, but there is a lot of historical monuments that's in the Bronx. So stay tuned for part 3, because this is part 3. I'm gonna do part 4. No, this is part 2. This is part 2. I'm gonna do part 3, then I'm gonna do part 4, and I'm gonna bring your guys around the Bronx. Some amazing spots in the Bronx, amazing monumental spots that's in the Bronx. Because we're not gonna sit here. They got places out here in the Bronx, right, that are monumental in the Bronx. And what it is that these places are just focused on Yankee Stadium. They focus on the Botanical Garden. They focus on the Bronx Zoo. But there's more monumental places that's in the Bronx. There's more monumental places that's in the Bronx, So I'm going to hit these spots, and we're going to go on a journey to show some of these amazing spots that's in the Bronx. And some of these places are closed down in the Bronx, right? So we definitely going to do this. And we're going to show the beauty of the Bronx. We're going to show the beauty of the Bronx because it's really, really important. We're going to stop talking about people in the Bronx. We're going to stop saying they crash out, that they ignorant, all they know is violence and all this other stuff, which is lies. When you are pounded by poverty and violence and guns and drugs, inadequate information, inadequate tools, inadequate computers, inadequate guidance and focus, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Who's going to lead the people? That means that there's something there that's leading the people, So that's a portion that's everywhere, all around the world. But I noticed that it's heavy in the Bronx, and we're going to find a reason why. It's heavy, why this sick, barbaric devil demons sit there in the Bronx. Heavy. And the reason why this sick, barbaric devil demon sit there in the Bronx so much is because the Bronx is always procreating. The people there are blessed. The people there are gifted. The people there are talented. So being that the people there are talented, this sick, barbaric devil demon don't want the people to rise up, whether they black, whether they Spanish, whether they Jamaican, or whether of any of these cultures and civilizations all around the world. It's going to sit there to promote evil because they don't want the people there to keep procreating, and get in New York to another plateau. We all know if it wasn't from the Bronx, this rap game would not be in existence, So the Bronx procreate a lot of things. It procreate a lot of things. So what we're going to do, we're going to get in the heart, and we're going to see some of these places and visit some of these places where that, a lot of outsiders will come and visit the Bronx, take pictures of the Bronx, and come visit some of these places. You got a lot of dope, amazing places out in the Bronx. So a big shout out to the Bronx, you know. And yes, so this is amazing, amazing dope content right here, dope video. I want your guys to please like, share, subscribe to some of the dopest channels out right now on YouTube. This is the dopest channel, right? And we've been going outside. We've been pulling up a certain hood. Right now I'm outside. Right now I'm outside in the Bronx right here. The Bronx is one of the most beautiful parts of New York City, you know. And but also in the same token has been plagued with sick, barbaric devil demon, because the people in the Bronx have the ability to bring forth and to lead future generation in New York, in this whole type of nation, what we call America, to a new beginning. There's a lot of amazing dope talent, dope and gifted people here in the Bronx. That's right. That's right. You know, here right now. It's just that we gotta wake them up. We don't need anybody, you know what I'm saying, to keep putting their feet and their elbows on the necks of people in the Bronx, you know. There's a lot of dope people there, and everybody's not on crack, or everybody's not on drugs. Everybody's not crash outs, you know. The Bronx has contributed to a lot of things, and is being not recognized and contributing to a lot of things that's going on. What's being recognized is this sick, barbaric devil demon, twisted, which is taking countless of many and oppressing and depressing the people that can uplift and get this nation to a different plateau and get New York to a plateau. People from the Bronx, those from some amazing people. Let me tell you something, man. The people in the Bronx fought through a lot of things, man. They also fought through the era in the 70s, 80s, when you had these landlords burning the building down for insurance money. There's certain neighborhoods like Kelly, Fox, like Interward, like 176. They fought the landlords. They fought a lot of these Jews. They fought them off. Man. A lot of these spots, So this is part 2, y'all. Peace.